Last year I attended a cooking class at a facility in Colorado that serves adults with physical and developmental disabilities. A young woman in the class was asked to come to the front, was given a bag of sugar, a scoop, a large mixing bowl, and a glass measuring cup. And she was asked to scoop out 2 cups of sugar and put it in the large bowl. She never successfully completed the task. I thought later about how difficult the task is. It's difficult to manipulate the scoop inside the bag, unless the scoop is so much smaller than the opening in the bag. As you look down on the glass measuring cup, all the writing is backwards, and there are a number of lines that have nothing to do with what you're trying to measure. If you happen to overfill the measuring cup, how do you get the right amount of sugar or flour back in the bag? It occurred to me that there's another baking ingredient that's actually very easy to measure: baking powder. That's because the baking powder container comes with a special shelf that makes measurement as simple as choose the correct size of measuring spoon, scoop up a heaping amount of the powder, and then scrape the top of the spoon against the shelf. Excess powder falls nicely back into the can, and you're left with the exact measurement you need for your recipe. Is there a way to replicate the process with sugar or flour that normally come in 5-pound bags? Here's what I came up with. We can easily get measuring cups that hold a specific amount of something when filled to the top. I just needed a way to store the sugar in a container that I can add a lip to. I discovered a plastic storage container for shoes online. It'll easily hold 5 pounds of sugar. It also has a lip at the front top edge of the box that can be used to scrape off excess sugar. The problem with the box is that the drawer can be pulled out too far, and then you run the risk of sugar falling behind the drawer when it's scraped. So I needed a way to stop the drawer when it was in just the right position for the scraping step. I took the box apart and saw that it had channels in the bottom where I could mount a pair of stops. I broke out a ruler in my CAD software and soon came up with a design for a pair of stops that would fit nicely and securely in those channels. I reassembled the box, and now it works perfectly. Measuring out the correct amount of sugar or flour is now as simple as choosing the proper measuring cup, scooping, and counting the right number of scoops. The point of the story is that when you have your own design and manufacturing capability, you're free to focus on changing the task itself rather than training on an already confusing task.